This administration, for the first time, is referencing why Iran was hit and why now, saying Tehran's ballistic missile program was growing rapidly and soon they would have been able to hit targets inside America. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio later saying the same thing while sending a message to the people of Iran. Take a listen.
We would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible. But the objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
So shifting messages. First it was about Iran's nuclear program, then it was about human rights and the brutal crackdown on protesters. And now it's about Iran's ballistic missile program and Iran's Navy. What exactly are you getting the sense is the objective?
Thank you, Asieh. Well, they can say what they want to say, but the reality is the actions that we are now observing and hearing from our friends and family on the ground. Today, Tehran was carpet bombed, civilian areas, plumes of smoke, 10 hospitals across the country attacked. On the first day, an elementary school, 108 school children, schoolgirls were killed. So, what is the goal? If we go by the actions as opposed to the changing rhetoric, the goal is the decimation of Iran entirely. It's not just about the state, it's not about just the regime. It seems to be going much further than that. We're also hearing that police stations are being targeted. Now, why would you attack a police station? Why would you attack communities when people come out to help victims? Why would you drop a second bomb? These are the kinds of things that we saw in Gaza. It's the Gaza playbook now being played out in Tehran, and I think, and in Iran systematically. I think that the agenda here is to fragment the country, to weaken it, and to make it completely beholden and subservient either to the United States or to Israel or both.
And Rubio has said it again on Monday, and we've heard it from President Trump, this idea that Iranians should seize the moment and topple their government. How is that possible when Iran is under attack with daily bombardment?
Well, precisely. It's not possible. How is it possible for people to go out onto the streets when there are bombs dropping on their heads? And secondly, I think there's a complete miscalculation of the strength of the system, not just that this was not a one-man show. It never was a one-man show. And the assumption that if they kill Khamenei, the entire system would fall apart is such a false assumption. So I think now that they've realized that this is the case, they seem to be going much more, they're broadening the scope of what they want to attack. But it's a contradiction in terms, because if you're at war ostensibly for human rights and to save lives, at the moment you are destroying and decimating lives. And I don't think that the United States ever had an interest in the human rights of Iranians. I don't think Israel ever had that interest. And I think that Iranians were sold a false dream, and Mr. Pahlavi, who is the Shah's son, has been a Pied Piper for the Netanyahu agenda.
U.S. and Israel and a host of Western nations say Iran is the #1 sponsor of terror in the world. And Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who's been a vocal advocate of attacking Iran, of a change in government, this is what he had to say. He said, the mothership of terrorism is sinking. The captain is dead. I'm assuming he's talking about Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, who was killed. He said the largest state sponsor of terrorism, Iran, is close to collapsing. And this is something you just talked about. Just because Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead with a number of other top leaders, that does not mean Iran is on the brink of collapsing.
No, and this question of space, of course the Iranian regime supported Hezbollah and they probably supported Hamas, but frankly, so did Israel. Israel enabled Hamas to exist. So if we're saying Hamas is a terror organization, then Israel is implicated. Secondly, Israel and there's the Netanyahu's administration are implicated in genocide in Palestine. And I think these are all distraction tactics that they have. The agenda here is something far more insidious than what we're seeing. It is Israeli expansion or Zionist expansion, however you want to call it. We're seeing what they've done in Lebanon. We've seen what they've done in Syria. They are continuing their targeting over there. And frankly, from the US standpoint, I think the US is being quite naive, because the minute Khamenei was assassinated, we have seen uprisings in Pakistan, in Bahrain, in Lebanon, and in Iraq against the US. And Khamenei, ironically, was not a man of grand stature in life. He didn't have the same aura, say, Ayatollah Sistani has in Iraq. He wanted to be martyred. He wanted to stand there and get killed, and they handed it to him on a platter. So instead of having the death that he would have had at age 86, he's now become a martyr, and that is thanks to the United States. And I don't think that that's doing any favors to Iran's cause or the dream of democracy in Iran.
Sanam, we are out of time. Thank you so much.